Okay, guys. Today's video is very important to me. It means a lot to me. Let me get my Audacity up, my thing up, my Otter AI up, and I'll start the video. Otter AI is here. Can I just start recording? Okay, okay. Muko Fanamidi. Fanamidi. Okay, I'll try recording on Audacity too. Okay, I can only do this for 30 minutes until this cuts off. Okay, guys. So basically, I'm putting Audacity right now. Let me just start my thing. Okay, guys, where do I start? Okay, service system. Okay, start here. Oh yes. Okay. Basically, today's video is on Muko Phantom ID. Okay. Basically, Phantom ID is very important to understand. Phantom ID, Muko systems, the spirits that of good and evil that connects us all, which is Muko engines, Muko gaming, Muko avatar systems, this for authentic digital expression via real world heuristics, I can using phenomenology rules and protocol, the goal of this is to like really give guys the option to buy a Muko console, or Muko engine. It doesn't matter the platform. It's polyglottic. It can speak to any system, any language. This thing is very important to me. It's all about Phantom ID. Okay, now what is a Phantom ID? Very important. This is a Phantom ID. Now, a Phantom ID is a zero knowledge proof system, but it's based on really cutting off the process to like a group of people. But it's equitable shares. There's no hierarchy or anything. For example, a Phantom ID is a zero knowledge proof ID based on no zero or Python zero, but there's like zero core interface for gaming interactions, and real world interaction in the world, digital world, outer world. Now, what Phantom ID is at github.com/obnexus Phantom ID, it's really a BiDAG interpreter. For example, you have like a fortran conscious model. So the model of this structure is like you have like a node as a job, like it's like peer to peer to peer, in a bi-direct resolution. I'll give an example. Is this so? You got this image here. If you can look at it here, I'm not talking to you. See like this one here. This like one here. They got like a square, a square x and a square x, a circle x. Those are like so basically, you are the center node. You are the interface. You are the square circle. But you can make a decision. You are the triangle circle. You can make a square decision or x decision, just a distinction. You can do it other ways. You can do the other way too. So you can make like a but these two represents like two decisions only. It's like this. You can go one way, you can go the other way, and you can get better at the game, you can get worse at the game. That's the idea, 2-to-1 mapping for public key and private key. Now, the public key, the square, it does one job, and does X does another job, but they do share jobs, bro. To stop you going backwards in the game. The goal of this is equitable support, assistance in the fairness of the game, how you wanna play a video game. Muko Phantom ID is really which you can go to github.com/openx Phantom ID. It's really an ID system for like so basically you got like a functor, which is like the mapping between the functions, and the separation of concern. All functors are separated from the data. So you got like the data file, you got to take into the functor file, but that's like a dynamic library for the public system. So if you want to consume the functions, can consume all the functors. Using the functor framework, which is called define all the mapping. All functors. There are 4 threads in this model. That can basically the functors are the functions or library function or the SO library, the shared object library, with the data that which is like the what's the data file called? The data file in the C standard is called .so shared object or .a archive. Or .a is the library, so it can be a static library such A or the shared object of the library, or the unique system for the data equivalent is .dat. So these DAT and data files work together to give you data, and ensure that you are getting progressing throughout the game. It's thinking about the worst case scenario. You never have a console, you never pick up a console. How do I play a game? You are gonna try to pick up a controller. How do you try this interface? Basically, in this model, as a policy, you never have like a down moment in the game. You're not meant to have any down moments in the game. So basically, you have like a system where you have like just one mapping. So if I come to a game, you pick a controller, I think, oh, I press this button, something should happen. And if the game, if I keep pressing mashing the button, something else should happen. Yeah. Until if the game does crash, like something feels, it feels like the screen, then the screen looks like it fails nicely, in a nice way. It's not like in a bad way. It's like having some kind of error correcting code, like looking at it says the system failed, but we didn't fail. We're just gonna report the error failed because you found a bug, in the game. But that's the kind of thing I want to push up from a console. Like a Muko, it's like an engine game. It's like any system that is based on dynamic library systems, which are called DLLs in Windows and libs in Apple interface systems. That's polyglottic. We call it remote code execution, remote RPE, remote functions call systems. you know, the fault tolerance, the goal of this Phantom ID is like you create a session. A session is like a game. You have like so basically you are a node in the network. You have a task objective. It can be more than others. I can go for the square if I want to go to the objective. I can go for the X if I want to go for the objective. But I can go other way if I find out if it's more my style. On this upward direction, I can go one direction, X square, another second. But I have to pick a lane, to progress how I want. Whether I lose the game doesn't matter. But I get guided to get better at the game because it's all about teaching people gaming. Gaming. So basically, got the error correction model, but something called the onion layers. So basically, 0 to 3, 4, 4 is FIFA games. 7 to 8 is like Skylanders. 12 to 13 is like what else? What's that game? Robin games, like the Batman Robin, and 15 to 16 is like teenage years, the Red Dead Redemption, all of those things. Yes, Red Dead Redemption and some horror games like the like becoming us, and then 17 to 18 is like adult, So basically, the only what Phantom ID in this content does is like So I have a character called Thundra, Siobhan. Now Siobhan is a black character. She's the African character, but she's a female. So if I'm 3 years old, I'm meant to see Siobhan as a woman, a beautiful woman. I have to see her authentically, Then as I grow a bit older, I see her more authentically as she is, as she's herself, Phenomenal lens, if I'm going as a child, this character should never die. Siobhan has something called a thunder dress, so I picked Siobhan as a child. I learn about Siobhan's story, I see what I see, I follow my path to learn about Siobhan, I grow older, I learn more about Siobhan. Now, Siobhan has a thunder dress. Now, that thunder dress is like the biome dress. It's like she has a biome she's in, but that bio is like being broken down by the weather, everything, dystopian biome. So she has a rebellion called the Thunder Rebellion, which tries to keep the she's never getting much lucky, so she becomes evil. She's good, she's good, she's good, but she does evil, because she tries to keep her land. And she's racist. She's not racist in the nationalism. She's just like more in tune Thundra, and then the Thundra aura. She's like a authentic character in that field because she has a story in the background. Thundra is like her flair, her aura, her style, her chains. How she understands reality. From her objectives, Thundra is like a persona development as a protocol, phenomenology who's how you want to see Siobhan, and I can pick Siobhan, I can dress her up, but when I'm Siobhan, I have to beat people with using Siobhan. Now, how Phantom IDs handle this, basically, the onion system is like a Peggy system. It's just Peggy, but the thing about you got a Peggy to 18. Anything 18 plus is M for mature or go. But it follows the same thing, like +3, +7. People don't know that. I'm telling you guys. So basically, the major system. Peggy only does +18, 17, 18, which is good. 18 you're an adult anyway. But anything extreme or very interactive, it's basically it's 18 plus, but anything that's 18 plus but needs more, so that M plus. You don't know M plus rating now. You don't really know when I started that, but those things are like really more crazy people start than that. But there's a rating that you have to follow for that rating. There's no basically 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 is M plus 21, 22. 22, I'm 23, plus another 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So plus 4 more, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and so on and so on. Just using the standard page rating. But I didn't write that down here. Now, the system must heal itself, the thing. So basically, the thing was about mmuko-engine. Phantom ID represents, every time you start a farming session, you add the players, they make the sessions, and it's isolated from everyone else. It's an isolated layer of the zero code interface because the session has started. You don't need anybody else talking to it. Until the game ends, it closes and it gives hand control. Like if I start a game, I don't want my game to be interrupted. So I'm live. I'm playing my game. I don't want to be interrupted. Basically, Phantom ID is like I can become a player in the game. There's a community my uploads, and such, I start my game, I pick up Thundra, I pick Shavan Thundra, I set everything with my IOTA state, my persona, that's my IOTA state. I don't just mean my set state, my setting that I've set as default. It can be a preset, which is default, but I said I change presets to be my own IOTA, and that'll be what's loaded into the game. Because my game is my main is Chevron, and Chevron has some flair. And I just pick my game, and the game knows me. So then I just pick it, and I can win the game, more easily. I don't have to learn anything because I'm out of the learning menu. I'm in competitive mode. There's no interface to compete anything. There's no competition whatsoever because this is the real world, and if I lose a game, I'm losing a bet. I should never have played a game. I should have assumed my chances, everything of winning that game. Based on the matchmaking I'm making on the real life system. So it's like a real world. Now, very important, guys. So basically, the thing I'm saying is Phantom ID is called Phantom ID because you are the Phantom. In the network, you are the node. We don't know who you are. You can come from anywhere. Spain, Portugal, it doesn't matter. Netherlands, UK, US, it doesn't matter. Russia, it doesn't matter where you are. South Korea, North Korea. But you have an education resource for that Phantom. If you can trace your Phantom, if you want to allow them to your network of Phantom, your authentic avatar, but kind of bridges like you have a sort of a fan fiction, and the thing is like you protect the children and actually it's like the child 3 came out, in 18, I swear to God. And there should be bi-direct solution. So basically there should be no payment, if you want to play a video game for the first time, you try it out, you demo it, you don't pay no money for it. It's like once you pay money, you can't put it back. You have to try and use it or equity sell it. Put it back. So basically, I'm saying to you, mmuko-engines. I don't want anybody paying £1 any money for a game. I want you to use the credit system. So basically, you buy something, you buy like an artifact, you sell it to other people. You buy all these things, you need to sell it. Based on the system, you're gonna have a house with it. So basically, to have an equitable ecosystem, buy, own, borrow or sell. It's just easy to put up to it's just business in the real in the digital world. So like the circle is the online ID, the MmukoID, ID, the transition. You play to win. You play to win. You don't pay to win. You play to win. You see, but the game has to require real consideration. You can either cash out in the real world or more digital currency. But the thing is, anything you fund into the real world has to come out somewhere or other. Because there has to be some kind of balance, business equity. So basically, if I pay for a game, I'm paying for something I'm gonna use. I'm not paying for something I'm gonna discard later. So the thing is, the credit system. Basically, if I don't like the game, I can put it down, but it costs me credits. Because I paid for that service, but I didn't use it. That kind of business thing. Because if I'm not using it, there's no point in me actually. It's a mistake I made. So you have to have the equity for everyone that continues the series of the game, the franchise. The balance of the ledger system. Via the ledger system as a sparse matrix, which can represent equity imbalance to worst balance. So basically, the worst balance to the balance, the worst imbalance to the worst balance, the best imbalance, worst case mapping. So basically, when you play in an ecosystem, you are equitable share. If anything that's trying to kill a character in a game or something vibe in a 3D game, I'm very competitive. I then unlock a combo and then I use it. That's the thing. I just use a combo. I just know the bottom up, and I don't have to think about it because the game. I know enough about my game, my character to continue playing with Chevron and wearing a thunder dresses, and a thunder gown, and a thunder wedding ring. It's things that are feminine by nature. And a scream of thunder scream. To show basically she's a vixen of the pack. She's a vixen. She's like she's modeled over an animal, which like the vixen wolves. She's like a woman, but she's an African woman. The vixen leopard or lion, she's like a woman. She's like a buying woman, but her buying is broken down, and she's protecting her land. She's like a woman. She's a persona development. She's a character embodiment of the hierarchy of the survival ecosystem and how she strategizes everything. So what she really represents to me is my character. I made this up. It's like I'm character building. She is like the she's not very smart. She's meant to grow in persona, grow with the storyline, grow with the people. So Siobhan Thunderdress, or what's her name? Siobhan is not Siobhan. Siobhan Thunderdress has a move everything. Her move set must evolve for the players via similar X, LTS, experimental to stable, legacy mappings via the compliance of the Rastiv and DAG. We get the LTS mapping, minor major patch. The thing about Thunderous, there's going to be dull moments in the game. If I'm learning to play the game, I should be able to keep the game I'm playing without getting bogged down by what I'm doing. So online gaming ecosystem. So basically, Siobhan will be like a character in my game, but I treat her as her own sovereign entity. She has her own avatar, own emotions. Like, she is real. And can use that basically when I'm fighting any protocol. I have to like ensure that I can have like a voice ID, the voice ID system. So basically, SP is like a special point. Things I get for completing some certain task, something I really want to achieve. Experience points like more experience and the and the game points GP. Uh, GGP or CP credit points, just stand on my earn, yes, like not game points, credit points. When I stand and I earn for just complete things that other people do, but I need to do them if I, as a bare minimum to achieve further and further and do everywhere, do my own documentation, everything in the game. So basically, every time I have a game, I try to understand strategy, I try to formalize it, how to kind of board, that's the kind of thing I want, kind of competition I want, for children, in this modern world. I want them to feel like they are the characters, I want them to basically I can have if it's like I put like a so for me the basically if I want to chat shit in the system, sure, but but that beep is like really annoying. So stop swearing at me. I don't really care. I can't hear you. But that's the standard preset, you can't take that off. But if I'm speaking to someone and I'm trying to beat them up, I can trash talk them everything. It's very insultive, yes. But I prefer the beeps because of the game. But it's like in some way the system here, as you can see, bastard. They can put it the start of the bastard, which is very good. But you have to ensure it's understandable. So you can intercept it in your way. So for me, it's like representing the kind of the elements. So basically, I can have Siobhan's voice as my voice comp. I can have like a smack sound like over again because I am the character. I am the one. So if I look at some relays, basically my voice I relay to the system, and the voice changes to using a voice modulator, Phantom ID polygon voice modulator that will give me her voice in the game. Like if I'm fighting against Batman, the Batman ground, I'm going to speak, and then I want to speak to Batman. I speak as my voice, and the voice modulates to Batman. Or like then I press the button, I press the combo three system, like I press a combo. It's an online system, and the system makes sure authentic, gives me some kind of way to change it to in a slight way or something like something more aligned with my dress and something like a piece of something I change, But it's like ensuring that that thing, style thing, but like a move feels more natural to me. This is input I do it. An avatar is basically what is an avatar? Basically, it's a debit system, but the debit is for you, to ensure that the game is aligned with your online tradition. Because I don't want anybody buying the game from me. I like free things, but the game is there because you don't have to pay for the game to try it unless you really want to get better. You pay for the stuff in the game. You get it. You don't need to pay for the whole game. So basically, it's about authentic journey and real world experience and ensuring that the avatar can grow. You don't have to feed your characters everything. You have to feed yourself. Because you don't need to feed the characters. You just have to feed yourself. Unless it's a feeding game. So basically, this is bottom up when I use there. So you go like there. You got like the photo model. You got like square zero OB4, which is like a number 4 universal one between the mappings of Xbox and PS4. Number X square one is 1. Number triangle 2 two A2 is 1. A2Y is 1. No, sorry, triangle 2 1. Number 2 is like 1 2 3 4. X or square is 1. Triangle 2 Y is 2. X is 3, and just like a button mapping, that I can use on the controller. But the controller is like the minimal one I can use, but the standard one is like the gamepad. Some way to interact with the interface already in there, so you can show like a full compliance with the cycle. The bidirectional interpretation layer for active credit systems. Every system, should I buy this system? Should I have this money to buy this and what I need? So do I want to buy this asset? Do I want to buy this game? There's no real money involved. It's just like credit. Because there just needs to be real money if it's digital currency. Because the problem with the real money is if you put it in, you can't get it out, and you can't eat. So there's some ability to put more money in. That's the problem I see with all the gaming. It's just, there's no need playing a game over and over again if it's the same recycled garbage. So that's the thing. It's just like it's like it goes back to the trash is garbage. But I don't see that it's authentic if it becomes more personalized. There's some degree of authenticity because if it appeals to someone, it appeals to a set of people. You know, if it appeals to this group, it appeals to this group. But that's not you don't need to appease them just to appeal to them. In the very slight way. So you can equity it. You don't have to please everyone. There's no point of pleasing everyone. You gotta read the whole story, learn everything. Just appeal to the group that need a fan fiction, that see how the character will evolve. See how authentic the Black African history is, like me, which is why I created Siobhan. Siobhan, the Tundra vixen. Which is a woman that's a black Igbo woman that's fighting Thangam to represent my culture, my woman, how beautiful she is, everything. Basically, the Phantom ID, the voice modulation program, the other things, what other things it can do? The authentic input validator, because the fighting game, things that ensure that I am playing as authentic as possible, representing that character. I can switch my voice com, not keep quiet. I can speak to her because you're like in an angry voice, but the goal is to relay. Say I can have a voice input, and then I can get this one to say ABC, it wasn't kind of say Siobhan, but I am Siobhan. I'm speaking a voice behind it, and then it's relaying like the messages to me in real time, via the game interface. Cause I can see what I'm saying too. If he comes too slow, it just blurs out. You don't need to say that. The gun doesn't register. It just registers what it needs to do. It doesn't need to insult anyone. But the randomness of the 30 settings, the personal development integrity of the functional bidirectional coherence is a model of the Gen Z voice. So basically, I'm saying I can have one voice for Siobhan. Depending on the mood I am, happy, sad, angry, lost. So there's some kind of angry excited. Something that's bi-directional. I can weigh my scale for authentic expression in that framework. For example, I can feel happy if I saw something, like I feel sad and cry because that was so beautiful. That's called a oxymoron. But that film is authentic to neurodivergent. I can feel those two things at the same time. If you don't believe it or not, I can feel happy and sad at the same time. Because this it means about my reticle region is rational. Why that thing was beautiful. That's what I'm saying. The kind of experience I give people is authentic. I don't want to give anything like as rigid to you're sad because of this. I don't remember like a real heuristic, real dynamics. For myself, via phenomenological. So basically, you don't have to pay a penny to play a demo of the game I'm building. But I'm not building the game. I'm just giving you the MmukoID, the Muko, which means the spirit that are going to be the commit in Igbo, as the slogan, and we rule, and done, and so we can ensure that things like slogan and everything, to the screen. Basically, she's gonna have a buy in the future, and she's gonna have visions, for the future, her daughter, everything. But she's gonna navigate that for that function, The goal of this is to ensure that Phantom ID, zero knowledge proof system, things that are not hierarchical, because the one I have is like a hierarchy based. Phantom ID current V1 V0001 because the Phantom ID is not meant to relay the information because if it goes one shot in a hierarchical manner, the system closes itself and you can never get that data back because if someone closes if the module closes the session, the game will not continue. Because they leave, that means that's one else to pick up. So basically, the model is like starring, star, every like the star, the square. Basically, the square and the circle. In one is like the switchable one. I can take off control of that square. So I can relay. I can become the new moderator. But the X and square are static systems, so they just swap out the moderators. That means someone else is doing the moderator, or the computer is doing the moderator, and the game goes live. Whether it's a video game or an online game or an explorer game, the game is there and the system is coherent. There's no as a ledger system for transparency, equity. Sure, even the ledgers are doing their job. Actually counting the money, actually validating the blockchain, however it is, there's been. Based on the functional system that is sparse. If I have a bus, it has to be sparse enough to with the ledger involved. If the module is a ledger, because module is a ledger. The mmuko-suite, the mmuko-ID, you can share static. You can even cut off on the internet. You never cut off, because your service is an intranet. It's an intranet. It's an integrated network. You never need an internet connection. You just play locally if you want to go to. Everything must be localized and therefore the dominant with the basically you have 120 1,200 milliseconds in 2 seconds. If you cut that down to 1 second, that would be 60 milliseconds. So you have 2 frames, 60 milliseconds. No, 6,000 milliseconds per 2 frames. But then that means you have to separate that into 1 frame, making sure you squeeze all the frame of animation into one. So basically, put 120,000 frames, so between 60 frames. It's a 2:1 ratio, and you can have that between a UI UX layer. So that'd be 30 frames each as equity. That'd be 3 times 4 is 120,000 frames. But that 130,000 is very important for you to understand as the difference. You're gonna work 10 minutes is over. Yes. So basically, you're gonna work because to the feminists, the mmuko systems understands mmuko-ID. It identifies coherent, and the game can adapt in real time, to fix any errors as forthright functional models. That's what I'm saying. So what a mmuko-ID is really, it's like and then if you buy an engine like a console for me, like like a game console, I'm thinking like it should be based on forthright game, true programs game consoles. People are gaming working different ways nowadays. We have to ensure that there's an equity between how much they play, how much they work. When you consider play or work the same thing, it's not the same thing to me. It's, when you're making money, you're actually doing something. You are working. When you are not active, you're just messing around. You're just playing with it. And how you especially get in one thing over the other, it takes how we're gonna move on with your life, act on something. So that's the active model in it. So how am I gonna act on this situation, with this character, with this limitation, with this reward gonna get, I'm aiming for, what I'm gonna get on the, how this combo is, etc. So that's github.com/obnexus mmuko-ID. Which like a MmukoID for gating systems. The goal is to have a MmukoID framework for transactions, everything that's authentic and communicate and reflect the real world blockchain validity over forthright bi-directional DAG systems as interpreters for retribution rationale implementation. Thank you very much. My name is Nandi. Please check out the repository github.com/obnexus/mmuko-ID. That's mmuko-ID. Guys, the future of gaming is now. The future is now. Basically, thank you very much for watching. That is a mmuko-ID. It connects with the mmuko socials, mmuko social media, Polygon social media, mmuko-engines, and then what's other things? mmuko-suite, the suite of game version for ten avatar, things that express one's identity for all to see. The VR phenomenological lens of principle as fundamental for its protocol. Thank you very much, and please like and share this video if you're interested on the mmuko-ID system. If you go to my youtube.com/obinexus playlist at obinexus playlist /playlist or the playlist, or you can see the more link and go to the GitHub on all the social media. Thank you very much.